Well, it's Thursday. That means it's time to do some better business here on KPXJ with our friends from the Better Business Bureau. We'll bring in Joanne Deal from the BBB, serving Northeast and Central Louisiana, along with the Arklatex in Monroe, as always. Joanne, and we always thank you for being here, of course. Now, in the spirit of Halloween, it's a trick, not a treat, a locksmith scam. Joanne, look, we've all kind of been there where we need a locksmith. How does this scam work?
Well, the locksmith scam has kind of been on the decline lately, but an accredited business who is a locksmith called me to tell me that a family member got a phone call in which that family member said that the daughter was in distress, which reminds you of the emergency scam. And so he wanted her to give him a credit card number. So here we go. Here's my flag. That's always a red flag. The credit card number phone call, not from the family member, but from a supposed locksmith. So the trick was on the scammer this time. So a locksmith usually doesn't call you. Your family member would call you. If that cell phone was locked up in the car, for example, they would put the family member on the phone. So remember, if you call a locksmith because you're locked out and they show up in an unmarked car, that's definitely a red flag. If they can't open the lock easily, if they're a real locksmith, they can open just about anything, including those ATMs that get pulled over, then they're not a real locksmith. If they have no local address, that is the major red flag. And if they want the credit card number by phone or any other way before they perform a service or before you can vet that there is a real issue, then yes, that's a scam. So most importantly, with the locksmith scam, if you don't verify the information ahead of time and you're in desperation, you could end up in a strange area. So you might want to think about several things that would tip you off to that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's terrifying, right? I mean, you call someone to help you and then you're alone with a potential scammer. What are some other steps consumers can do to avoid something like this?
Well, most importantly, we want you to know that Louisiana has what's called the Louisiana Safety and Security Code, and this requires that locksmiths be background tested and that they also have a license with the state of Louisiana. You know, this is a very difficult thing. Business owners and private citizens alike depend on locksmiths to keep us safe and to get us where we need to be when we need to be there. So please think about this ahead of time and look into the fact that they should have appropriate advertising, that you need to ask plenty of questions. You need to check their identification. They should have some kind of license or identification card and never talk to anybody who just shows up in an unmarked car. And most importantly, demand an invoice. Quite often, the scammers will give you a certain price and then charge another price, or they'll have to tear into something. That's not a real locksmith because they can open locks. But most importantly, just remember the new twist that's happening locally is a phone call to a family member to try to get a credit card number. That's just not the way it works. And that's how you do business better, is to use a trusted locksmith always.
Always sound advice, Joanne. Quickly before we go, everyone, we got to know, what's Joanne Deal dressing as for Halloween this year?
Oh, I'm the BBB lady.
Perfect. Well, you play that role well. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Joanne, thanks as always.
Thank you.